It is certainly hard to believe that a little company that started in a warehouse in El Segundo is now going public with the largest IPO that ever.
At the Nasdaq in Times Square, at Starbase, it's SpaceX celebrating its record-breaking IPO, a $75 billion offering, priced at $135.
It's not just that you're getting a new trillionaire, but you're getting a whole new economy here, which is a space economy. And the interesting thing about SpaceX is that it keeps discovering new ways to make money in space. I mean, nobody thought that a Starlink 10,000 satellites would recreate the internet in outer space. Now you are also going to get it direct to cell phones. Now, you know, who would have thought 2 years ago you would have been building data centers in outer space? But the new Starlink super satellites that he's going to be able to put up on this largest rocket ever made, Starship, will be able to put data centers in outer space. I think what we're seeing is the beginning of a whole new economy, a space-based economy.
This is, think about it as some combination of owning the British East India Company as we colonize both the solar system and then on beyond, and the moon mission. I mean, think of all great technology that got developed from the moon mission, right? Your cell phone is an example. I think it's one of the most consequential companies in human history, and we're going to see how it all plays out. I'm very curious. I plan personally on holding my stake as long as I possibly can.
This was not a get-rich-quick scheme today. $1.7 trillion is not an inadequate valuation. You see the stock up 20% today. So when I was getting calls from my mom and my siblings, should I buy the SpaceX stock on retail? I said, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme, but if you want to own it for a year or 2 years, I think you're going to do really well. Competitive returns from this one.
Sometimes deals are done and they really pop just as much as they should, and they attract people. It's not outrageous, it's not Cerebrus, it's not Figma. It's just a very good deal, very well priced, and people who want to buy it, I think, should absolutely go do it. So there's nothing embarrassing about it. There's always a couple of people who are they're kind of house bears, and you can dig them up, and they're going to come up with a lot of negative things. But I've been seeing that since I got in. I walked down Wall Street 44 years ago when the Dow was at about 1,000. And the same naysayers, some of them are still around, but we got new naysayers. They kind of do the same thing. And they've kept people from being wealthy. And their jobs, the people who have the regular jobs, that would never make them wealthy. And I feel like we should want to encourage wealth. And this one is ultimately going to make people a lot of money.
This is the beginning of a new era in America where we've gone from focusing on efficiency last decade with like gig economy and better use of cars, Airbnb, more efficient delivery of advertising, to now an abundance era where we have, we're building AI, we're building spaceships, we're building, $5 trillion of data centers. So this is just the beginning, I think, of an American decade. And I think SpaceX is absolutely the poster child for it. And I think the real question is, what do the next 5 years look like? I think this is as big a transformation as when people went from farms to factories.
SpaceX is an amazing company. It's an engineering marvel. And it's also the reality that they have only 20 billion revenues, lots of potential. And even if you build in the biggest possible stories, getting to 1.8 trillion takes a lot of work. So let me be very specific. Valuation is personal. You make your best judgments on a company, you decide what it's worth, and you decide whether to buy. For me, the company just looks richly priced, even with really big stories about their three businesses.
I personally think SpaceX right now is more like NVIDIA 3 years ago than Tesla, which I think a lot of investors comp it to. And what I mean by that is I personally have very high confidence in explosive revenue growth, kind of like starting now.